worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, when I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. You should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh no, no, no. Oh please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. 'Cause girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw you coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said,
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Can we get a mic check? Mic check, please, because I asked if you guys could hear the intro. I just got a new microphone here and hopefully it works. Let's hope. How's everyone doing? Hope you are well. My hair is messy. Good to I'm low. Okay, 1 second. Let me fix it. Okay, is that too loud? Sound good? I hear it in you? Okay, perfect. Thank you all. Good to see you all. Going back to the Summer Wells case, we're going to be talking about today. It was really loud. Is it loud? Is it too loud? Is your ears blasting? I just want to get it right. I just want to make sure I get it right. Perfect, good, perfect. Okay, great, great, great. So yeah, we're going back to the Summer Wells case. And, you know, Don and Candace, particularly Don, has been quiet lately. I've been going back through things that it's so amazing, and ICU can tell you this, how much stuff we have in the summer, just all the things that has happened over these last 2 years. And it's quite a bit, quite a bit. And I called this live Bruised, the Bad Apple, because, I've heard so many different stories about Summer Wells being, or not Summer, sorry, about Candace rather being, having her eyes bruised. Dawn was and her was fighting that night. I don't know if Don did it, but what we do know about Don is he has a history, a long history of DV. And we were going through some of photos and all of that, and found some very disturbing things. And I'm going to show you that. But before I do get started with this, I do want to give a heavy trigger warning. We are going to be talking about DV. You're going to hear um, things about SA. We're going to be hearing just a lot of different things. So mods, please give heavy trigger warnings in this live, because it's we want to respect everyone. So if you are sensitive to that, this may not be your live. You may want to come back again another time if you're sensitive to something like that. So without further ado, we've got a lot of ground to cover in this live. In fact, I don't know if I'll be able to cover it all, but there's always tomorrow, Lord willing. So let me find it. Let me find it. We're going to be talking about the bathing suit. We're going to be talking about a lot. Um, so we've got, can y'all see this? No, I need to put it in a different presentation. 1 second. All right. Oh. Okay. Let's make sure y'all still not pulling up. Got it. All right. As you can see here, I have blurred out the photos but these are obviously children of Dawn and, well, Candace. And there is several photos out there with these children having black eyes. And if you'll notice, the the black eye that each one has is on the same side rather. So it's interesting, to say the least. I'm not saying uh anyone did anything, but I am saying, why did that pop up? Hold on. As you can see here, why is it? As you can see here is another. And I'm going to show you, yes, they're left, which if we were standing to them, it would be our right. There, yeah. Right. So, and I want to be very clear. I don't know if this one is a black eye. I want to, or they're just dark underneath with summer. I'm not really sure. Yes, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. But it is extremely hard to see these in any person being, just being hurt. And in my opinion, that goes for Candace as well. So Candace, there's always people that will help you get out if you need out. I know. I know. Trust me, Candace has done her share, in my opinion, as well. As well. But, uh, you know, it is what it is. I was looking at this box. This was the summer's box. And you'll see a lot of it still looks brand new. It doesn't even, there's still a lot of things are still in like packaging and stuff. And was it things that was bought for? Was it things that Thank you, Brandy B. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. But was some of this bought after, bought before, and just never used? I don't know. Oh, thank you, Brandy. You're very sweet. Thank you, honey. I want to go and I want to show y'all some things. Some things. Now, it's going to sound differently because I'm using it under the Fair Use Act, and I have to kind of translate it into my, own. So the voices that you hear, Don is in this, but he may sound different. Talking through a megaphone, it may sound like he's talking through a telephone or whatever, but it is him, and I did have to edit it, the voice a little bit, but this is all past interviews. If you want to see the interviews in their entirety, Alicia, thank you so much, honey. I do appreciate you. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to me, truly. Then you can go to the links below and you can listen to them yourself in their entirety, unedited.
Candace, well, she called me first, says she can't find Summer nowhere, and I says, well, hang up from me and call 911.
Could y'all hear that? Could y'all hear that? Let me know if you could hear that. Okay, perfect. Looking through my notes here. All right. Awesome. Listen carefully to what
Right now, just in case. So she ran to her mom's trailer over here, grabbed her phone because she was the only one at the time that had an AT&T phone, called 911, and I called 911 also after I threw the rest of my tools in the Subaru. And so I got on the road and called 911. And
Now, we do know that Don did call 911. He called 911. He told, this is what I don't understand. He told Candace to call 911. He throws his tools in the back of the new Subaru. And then as soon as he, gets out on the road, he calls 911 too. And they tell that they transferred him to Hawkins County because the 911 picks up, whatever county that you're in. He wasn't in Hawkins County at the time. You just told her to call 911. Why did Don call 911 as well? Because the way he just made it sound was this is what he said: call 911 just in case. Call 911 just in case. So he's thinking, I know you can't find her, but you know what? Just in case, call 911. So then he gets out on the road, and without calling Candace back and saying, what did 911 say? Or they're on their way or whatever. He calls 911 too. In my opinion, that was to build an alibi of where he was.
Dispatched me over to Hawkins County. And so then she called me back on Messenger, and we talked the whole way. And she was driving her mother's truck, going all over, back and forth, up and down these streets, looking.
So he just says it right there. Candace was outside, looking everywhere, but she's driving Grandis's truck, going around and looking everywhere. If I miss someone's membership, mods, please let me know. Oh, Pat, thank you for 5 months. 5 months, Pat. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Thank you. So 1 of 7 alibis. Yeah. So Candace is driving Grandis's truck, going around everywhere. Now, you would think, being that it had only been 2 to 5 minutes max, would you be going all the way to the church out there if you thought she just was lost? She just, got out of the yard or something. Would you be going that far? Would you be going that far? It was only supposed to be 4 minutes, 5 minutes maximum. A barefooted 5-year-old can't get that far in 2 to 5 minutes max. Oh crap, I just messed it up.
The rest of my tools in the Subaru. And we talked the whole way. And so I got on the road and called 911. And they dispatched me over to Hawkins County. And so then she called me back on Messenger, and we talked the whole way. And she was driving her mother's truck, going all over, back and forth, up and down these streets, looking.
So Candace calls Dawn back. They talk, according to Dawn and to Candace, they talk the entire way. They talk the entire way of Dawn, and he said he was speeding like it was a 45-minute trip. He said he probably made it there in 30. And Candace, and neither one of them ran out of service in that time. I don't believe it. And someone just said she went to Fred Hills. Okay. Well, again, I've been to Ben Hill Road several times. And this last time was the only time that I have AT&T. I've had AT&T for probably 20 years. Is the only time that I got service at the bottom of the hill. And I got it even going back into the holler, but I lost service before going to Fred Hill's house. So I don't know how she kept service, especially June 15, 2021. Don't know how that would happen. I don't even know how it was happened for Dawn. If Dawn was awaiting in the basement, could account for confusion in the town. I'm going to show you guys a timeline shortly. It's just not possible. Because at the bottom of the road, last year when I had AT&T, I had no bars on Ben Hill Road. No bars. And I mean nothing.
And she was nowhere to be found. So she was the first one, driving around all these streets and everywhere looking for her. So that tells you right there that somebody threw her in a car and got gone fast.
So again, immediately they think this was an abduction. Now, usually that's not the first thing that runs through a parent's mind, particularly where they live, being in the middle of nowhere on a hill. So Coexist says he was drunker than Cooter Brown on the 4th of July that night. He said, I don't care for Don one bit, but what he meant to say was he had 7 witnesses, not 7 alibis.
Out of this area quickly. And it don't take long, you get on some of these roads.
Listen to this. Listen to this carefully.
Quickly. And it don't take long, you get on some of these roads and open your vehicle up, you can fly pretty good and get out of here, no problem. So they had at least 25, 30 minutes to get out of this area, And then, so, yeah, I'd say she's, I don't know. I know there's one route out of here that I think the police, I believe there's one route out of here that they can take, and I don't think there's any cameras on that one route out of this area.
So there's one route out. He thinks. He says there's one route out, and he started to say the police or something like that. He said something he was going to say with a P word, and then he stops himself, and then he says that there's no cameras or anything. Don knows where the cams and aren't. So Don knew the kidnapper didn't have a phone. Yeah. How do you know this, Don? How do you know this? I mean, because listen to me, I could go any route to a destination. There's usually more than one road to get there, right? But I don't know the routes that would have a camera versus the routes that didn't have a camera. I don't see why she drove to the church. That's exactly what I'm saying. Why would she drive to the church? I mean, why would you go that far? She had been missing just minutes. I wonder if Dawn came with that person on the hill.
There's several routes, but
some screams.
Now this is Dawn as well. It's going to sound differently because I have to edit it, change the voice.
Yeah, she was up there outside, just across from us, and she heard some really weird screams before they heard us screaming for Summer.
Okay, there Don is talking about Jody Sue. And he's saying she heard some pretty loud screams. So Don is saying, she heard some screams. Now, if Jody Sue heard the screams in her yard, wouldn't you think Candace and Grandis and anybody who was at that house would be able to hear that? Yes. Yes. Sure would. They sure would be able to hear screamings. It is what it is. You're right. You're exactly right. Remember how Don said that Summer would say stop? Well, guess who liked to play the stop game with their 5-year-old stepsister? We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. That's right. Everyone should have heard the screams. Now, the only reason, in my opinion, Don or Candace and Grandis said they didn't hear screams. My opinion is that they may be involved. But the kids may or may not have heard it. I would probably think that they would. But let's continue and listen to what Don says here. Listen carefully.
And that still haunts her. She's still haunted by all that. And I think she might have been fighting somebody.
And like,
I think she might have been fighting somebody. What Summer has went through is beyond anything anyone should have went through, much less a child. Much less a child. The angel.
maybe her mouth was covered and she probably couldn't breathe.
Don says maybe her mouth was covered and she couldn't breathe. It's almost like he's reliving it, in my opinion.
And she probably was able to get out a scream or something like that in terror.
And she was probably, got enough breath to let out a scream in terror. So if all this action was going on, Dawn, Candace, if all of this action was going on and you seem to believe Jody Sue, at least in this interview, why didn't anyone else hear it? Or is it a cover-up?
Scream. So yeah, that's horrible. And she can scream. They kept me in and out. I mean, I'm not gonna blame them. I was raised in jails. Every county jail there was across America. That's where I was raised.
That's right. That's where Dawn was raised, in the county jails across America. And I forget how Dawn is now, 50s, 60s. Still just got out of jail some months ago. He's lived his Well, he said he lived his entire childhood in and out of jail across America. Yeah, exactly. Born in the prison system. And it seems like he hasn't been able to stay out for very long, much of his entire life. He straightens up. He does good a while. Jasmine, he does better in jail, Jasmine says. The way he talks in this interview, link is in the description. He almost sounds like he does.
And stuck their head out. That kind of stuff is constant in our area, and all kind of stuff going on. I think meth is becoming what it always has been, but it's getting worse. I guess it's a serious problem. I guess it is everywhere, but yeah.
And that was the morning?
Well, sir, I didn't.
Sorry, that was that morning you left for work that happened with the four-wheeler and that?
Yes.
Okay. The morning of June 15th, was that, only if you know for sure, please say it, was the truck the red truck, and I'm going to show you photos shortly, was that with the man and the woman who got stuck over the hill there, was that June 15th, the morning before he went to work?
So the police were there June 15th, early in the morning then?
Yeah. Yeah, they just showed up because somebody else had called the law.
See, I see both things in chat. I've heard yes, I've heard no. I need to, it's so hard to pull records out of Tennessee. It's so hard. I wish I had someone in Tennessee but let me show you this. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. 1 second. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. What did I do with it? Let me see if I can find it here. I might have. Here, I'm gonna have to pull it back up. I apologize. I thought I had it ready. Okay. Let me show y'all this photo because it's well, damn it, I thought I had it. Okay, I do have it here. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Present. Here we go. I had it up and then I took it down. Here we go. I just have, it says, people stuck yelling and screaming since 3 a.m. on Ben Hill. This is what the area has been resolved to. Police arrive on the scene this morning and people wonder who is hanging around Ben Hill. Summer Wells was abducted, no doubt. And then here's the photo of the red truck and that, but it doesn't, this part right here, well, it doesn't have the date or anything. Mother woke up, saw child. So that's, that's what I'm confused on. Don says it was that morning. Chris M asked about it and he said it was the day before. Didn't think. Kitty. Can y'all hear my cat? Single mom Don be around. Yeah, Nana's in Tennessee, but I need people to request FOIAs and stuff. So that's my question. Is that true what Don is saying? Was or was it the day before? Was it a week before? A week after? You're the cat. Meow, 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 meow. Okay. So that was my question for that.
Oh, well, they could. They surely could. My sister could charge Russ. Jeannie don't want to admit that she's a little hoe. And JR, my daughter, and it wasn't that far back.
Okay. Well, Marlena says, well, Don was driving the white. That's exactly. Thank you for mentioning that. I was going to mention that. So Don took the picture going down that hill. There's another picture. I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is. I have it somewhere. But there's a picture and you can see Don's white truck. So if that is true, then Fred's Hill, his account is right when he said he saw Don with the boys pulling in to the driveway around 8 or 9 o'clock that morning on June 15th. Because, no, Kathy, because Fred was taking off trash. So that is something we need to dig on. Yes, there's a photo of Don. Now, this is when he is talking about his family and his daughter. And this is recent Don, within the last year or so, talking about this. And this is why, in my opinion, one of the reasons why, regardless, I feel like whether they had anything to do with Summer's disappearance, at the end of the day, they are not good people. Trigger warning.
There could be all kind of charges brought up. But, we don't try to do that shit. Like, my poor daughter's been raped several times by people.
I tried to take out where that little beep was. That was the R word, and he uses it a couple times. So there's a couple beeps or mutes. So I'm gonna rewind that just a little bit.
JR, my daughter, and it wasn't that far back. There could be all kind of charges brought up. But, you know, we don't supposed to do that shit. Like, my poor daughter's been raped several times by people. My daughter was raped by my first wife's son. As soon as she turned 18, he raped her on her 18th birthday.
Jesus.
Yeah, because he knew once she turned 18, there wasn't a whole lot she could do about it or whatever. On her 18th fucking birthday. Pretty crazy. Those are things she could do, but she didn't go crying. She don't go crying and for all attention and blah, blah, blah.
Can you believe what this guy said? I'm going to rewind this because I want you to hear it.
It's getting worse, I guess.
Sorry, that was that morning you left for work that happened with the four-wheeler and that?
For their June 15th, early in the morning then. As
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, they just showed up because somebody else had called the law. Oh, well, they could. They surely could. My sister could charge Russ. Jeannie don't want to admit that she's a little hoe. And JR, my daughter, and it wasn't that far back. There could be all kind of charges brought up. But, you know, we don't try to do that shit. Like, my poor daughter's been raped several times by people. My daughter was raped by my first wife's son. As soon as she turned 18, he raped her on her 18th birthday.
Jesus.
Yeah, because he knew once she turned 18, there wasn't a whole lot she could do about it or whatever. On her 18th fucking birthday. Pretty crazy. Those are things she could do, but she didn't go crying. She don't go crying and for all attention and blah, blah, blah. She dealt with it. I got to give my daughter props on that. I mean, not like to say that, you know, it was right or anything.
Yeah, Don has to give his daughter props that she didn't go crying. So, Don, are you saying that's weak that someone goes, your words, crying? And you just said your daughter has been R'd many times. That usually doesn't happen. A person gets R'd many times over the succession, of her young life. And you were saying some of them were not too long ago. Yes, Grace, just like it's all right with him. He is such a sick human being. Not only did he say this, and this is, what Chris always says, the public life, the private life, and the secret life. And every one of us has those three scenarios. But he just admitted this in his public life. What would he do in his secret life? What would he do? It's scary to know. Zero boundaries, yes.
I'm trying to say that. Just, I don't know. It hurt her. I couldn't be there. I wasn't there. Nothing I could do about it. And her mother, her real mother, just like, well, let's, whatever. But I don't know. Kind of crazy, but it's true.
Well, Don, the reason her real mother and you didn't do anything about it is because you housed these types of people in your home who had kids. How you guys picked these people off the streets. I showed you what you and Pam did in Arkansas, along with Candace. That's how you found Candace. She was at a shelter. And you brought two of these people home, one married into the family. They wore masks. One of them, when they did what they did, and called themselves the boogeyman. If this isn't from literally the big, Don's earlier years and his later years, we've showed exactly what this guy, at the very least, puts himself around. At the very least. Out of the offender registry, likelihood to offend from 1 being the least violent to 10 being the most, both of these people were a 9, which is just about as bad as it gets. And this was happening while there was kids in your home. Like, and you say this, to your daughter, she didn't go crying about it, whining about it, and that she had had this happen to her many times?
True. I am. Candace.
Yeah. No wonder, Don. No wonder. No wonder she suffers. Your oldest daughter. No wonder Donald, your son Don, is the way he is. No wonder. That's exactly right, Angel. Normalizing the behavior is what he's doing.
Been raped several times.
Oh, hold on.
Pretty crazy. Things she do, but she didn't go crying. She don't go crying and for all attention and blah blah blah. She dealt with it.
She didn't go crying for all the attention. He thinks it's blah, blah, blah. She dealt with it. So that's what you're supposed to do. Just deal with it. Just deal with it. No.
I got to give my daughter props on that.
Props.
I mean, not like to say that, you know, it was right or anything. Not trying to say that. Just, I don't know. It hurt her. I couldn't be there. I wasn't there. Nothing I could do about it. And her mother, her real mother, just like, well, let's, you know, whatever. But I don't know. Kind of crazy, but it's true. It's true. I am the victim of that step family.
They say, you know, there's some, you know, down the road, but they got a bunch of kids, you know, down there too. And of course, we can't confirm any of this because
Okay, this is the footprints. When Don was talking about the footprints, you know, did he know if they were Summer's footprints or whatever? I just thought this was interesting. This is Don talking.
police just they're really not telling us a whole lot. But my kids, they run around barefoot all the time.
Yeah.
I just don't know about that. I really don't. My kids could have been running around down there looking for Summer that day barefooted because they run around barefooted all the time. I can't go barefooted like they do, but they can run on these rocks and stuff.
Yeah, no wonder why he is. Donald, his son, the way that he is. Had it been my daughter, they would be praying to God or the law before. Yeah. Yeah. Don was talking about those footprints. He wasn't sure if it was the kid's neighbor's footprints, if it was his kid's footprints, if it was Summer's footprints. Just wasn't sure. All right. Hold on. Let me. Give me 2 seconds. Copy link. Can view. Copy link. Sorry, I thought I had this stuff pulled up, but I didn't. No, I don't want it to edit. This link can view. Present. Okay, we'll try to do it like this. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back. These are the eyes. We talked about this, right? Another thing I wanted to talk about was obviously this jacket, or the I wanted to talk about the fingers. Can y'all see her fingers here? Summer's fingers. What is that on her thumb? Right here. It looks like, hold on, let me find it. It looks like the nail has been, in my opinion, damaged or cut or something. Looks like dried blood, you said? Maybe a mashed thumb. Could be. Could be. This thumb looks, weird too. I don't know. I was just sitting here looking at it earlier and I just thought, like, was there an accident? I think her hands look swollen. They look puffy as well. But this really bothers me. And this thumb, that's just not normal. That's not normal. That's something that has happened with the nail. Here's another. This is the same picture. I think it's the same picture. Or maybe it's just a different angle. You see? If you change it. It's not, I don't think it's dirt. I've looked at these photos a million times. Grandma's on. I said the same thing. I said her fingers should be clean from swimming. They should be clean from swimming. Is that a smiley face with marker? I don't know what you mean. Oh, the red part's something that was circled. Here's a photo of the door. Right shortly after Summer went missing. That someone was supposed to have went up on that hill, went through that door, and got Summer in 2 minutes and went down. And I don't think that ever happened, in my opinion. Now, I don't think she's. See, a lot of people think she could potentially be unalive in that photo. I don't think she's. I think she's alive in that photo. However, because I've volunteered for hospice and I've worked in funeral homes, and whenever you die, your jaw opens. But also, before a person passes, many times your fingers will go blue or cold first because your body is sending oxygen to the most vital organs. This is the boy's bedroom. No wonder they don't want to come back. Do you see a mattress? I mean, not a mattress. Do you see a blanket on those beds or a fitted sheet? Because the only thing I see is another mattress that is equally as dirty as the one that was downstairs. No pillows on the bed, nothing. Don made the beds. They wouldn't have had that if CPS hadn't have made them do that. No window. Well, there might have been a window here. Actually, there's a window here. I think that's a window, isn't it? Is that a window? Or is that a TV or something? I don't know. No, that's the computer. Sorry, there's no window. Oops, sorry. The floor is not finished. This isn't love. It's not poorness. This is neglect. And you can't blame them for not wanting to go back. It's a plywood floor, yes. They put the floor down when they was building the house. And they never covered it up with anything. Not even, linoleum or anything. And look at the dresser. Just no pride of anything was taken. This is from Chris from the interview room. Credit goes to him for this. Here's Summer's bedroom. I would be scared to sleep in that. I would be scared. So you think a little girl went down there to play? My heart is like beating so quickly. Yeah. That is the definition of a dungeon. The definition of a dungeon. Chris was a trooper for us for that. I couldn't find the photo, like the entire photo. This is the only thing I could find. This is Summer in a casket. It's like a big, oversized casket at a theme park area in Tennessee. And Summer's in the casket, and Candace writes, Mommy loves you and misses you, and all of that. Yes, Joyce. If anybody has the full photo without the writing or anything, please send it to me. She's so skinny there, yes. Lady Q, that's a good question, because how does anybody support that? After what we just heard Dawn say and the way that these children were treated, someone tells me that Dawn and Candace are nice people, have lost it. You've lost it. Now listen, if it was just Dawn and Candace and they didn't have kids, live how you want to live. Go for it. If it's just two adults, y'all live how you want to live. As long as you're not hurting anybody else. But you have kids, it's a different story. Don't let the kids suffer. I don't know how anybody could be okay with that and make excuses. I don't know how anybody could. There is no excuse for that. Summer didn't hardly have hair. No, it was shaved literally to the skin. What did Kate say? Yes, and the girls gone wild on their TV basement. Daughter missing. He's watching that. Ran and hid in the shed. I believe he was in the shed too, personally. I believe so. Don Sneaky. I've got a thing which I'll show you later. It's Don saying that he would go. Summer would be playing with her toys or whatever, and Don would sneak up behind a car and scare the daylights out of her. A 5-year-old? To keep her from going out of the yard and stuff? She's just a little girl playing with the car. You're running up, scaring the crap out of her? This was the bathing suit that Summer was wearing that day. However, she does have shorts on. I don't know what kind of shorts. Here is a photo in this is like a, a blue type bathing suit that she's wearing while they were in Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge. So she obviously had more than one bathing suit. They tormented those kids, yeah. Here's some text messages very shortly after Summer disappeared. This mom comes into work with 2 boys and this little girl. This was while Josie was in Utah with Don. 2 boys and this little girl. I've wanted to say something multiple times because she's so mean to her. And she will buy the boys something and not her, squeezing her arm as tight as she can. She's dressed always in filthy PJs and either shoes that look too small or a pair of dirty flip-flops. It's the saddest thing. And yes, her head had been shaved. And if you've seen any photos of the Wells children, you'll notice that a lot of times they will have shoes that look like adult shoes. You know, worn and ragged. Because I'm sure they had to dress themselves. And they were poor things. Were Here's a photo of them walking up the hill, one of the searchers walking up the hill from the road. So someone ran up from the bottom of the road all the way up this mountain. and grabbed the child that they knew somehow magically that she was by herself in a basement in the dark dungeon because you couldn't see in. You don't remember if it was locked, if it was open, if it was closed. And they grabbed Summer and ran back down this hill in just a couple minutes. Didn't hear anything. There wasn't any footprints. There wasn't any, scuffs in the leaves. No branches were broken. You didn't hear, a screaming child. Jody Sue heard it. And Dawn, you said she heard it. Now the cops, they said they don't account for it, but who's right, who's wrong, I don't know. But regardless, nobody did that in 2 minutes, in my opinion. She's last wearing, it says, a pink shirt and gray shorts. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation reports no new leads in this case and have not ruled out foul play. So there is growing scrutiny on everyone close to the child. Jackie says, in my opinion, Candace knows where Summer is, and that's why she's not looking. I believe Candace is playing games with us. Although somehow she knows Summer will never. They seem very confident in that. Shorty said if she was lured out of the basement or off the property, I'm sure Grandis and Can would have saw someone. Absolutely. They was on the same side. Donald Wells, the one who says she took it like a champ or a trooper or whatever he said. DA, possession with a pew-pew while under the influence. Possession of a pew-pew felon. And how anyone still sits and says, I support them. They're good people. When you look into the eyes of Can and Dawn, you don't know them like I do. You don't know them like I do. Thank God I don't. Thank God I don't. Because I never want to be around someone like that. Ever want to be around someone like that. See if I can find it. That makes it better. I'm going to drop this. This is a very important timeline. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it. I'll put it on my community post, this timeline. You can download it if you want it. They talk a lot in past tense. They will see her in the resurrection and all that. Yeah. It's all a big script. Yeah. But this timeline, it will show you, it'll tell you everything that happened that day with the source and the links to where it happened. It'll where they've said it, where Dawn or Candace or TBI or whatever said it on YouTube. It'll tell you a lot of the sources and all of that. So it's a very good timeline. Now, whatever happened after 3 or 3:30 that day, in my opinion, very few people know. But hopefully TBI is a lot closer than, we realize. Hold on one second. Okay. I want to show you guys this. I want to email myself this. So, in Appalachia, the coal mines and there's a lot of poverty and stuff here, but like I said, I was raised poor. And I'm not ashamed, but I want to show you a photo. This is a picture from Poverty in Appalachia, mending a second-hand prom dress. Look how clean the house with coal. Let me show you this. And this kind of reminds me of growing up. Like the house. That's what I mean. You're poor, but you're clean. You're poor, but you have pride. That's exactly what I mean. See? We got an old coal stove, right? It's not much, but they're proud of what they have. Of course, and she looks beautiful. Yes. Here's your one chance, fancy. Don't let me down. Okay? Go get you one, honey. Go get it. How about that? So, heck, my sewing machine came in handy. That's right. Addicts don't clean just sand. Yeah, well, not when you're heavily engrossed in it. It doesn't. God bless them. Not that. Right? Just a little pride. this, that. That picture changed my mind. What is it? The Sleuth Fairy? Like I said, if it's just the two of you, Don and Candace, y'all can live how you want now. You don't got to do anything. But now's when y'all are cleaner than you ever been. That's exactly right, Grace. It is what it is. They haven't, because that is how, if you don't let go of if you don't, like if Don and Candace didn't relinquish their rights, then they would have pressed charges. Now, I'm not saying that they haven't, it's still not possible, but that is how they get most parents to sign their rights completely over. There you go. I see you. Exactly. Yep. Most of the time they won't do it. AC said, got my hiney washed on the stove every night before bed. Got the booty blister scars to prove it. Mama kept us clean, all 7 of us. Amen. The cow clone will realize it will. I hope so. I hope so. I just listen, you can, I don't know, man. Yeah. There's no shame in being poor. There's only shame in being poor and being filthy with it. It's just a choice. It's really a choice. Where did that go? All right. Well, guys, I'm going to jump off of here because Miss Daisy Basham is coming to town. I got to get myself together. So Miss Daisy Basham will be over at Clutch Them Pearls in a little bit. I'm scheduled for 9 o'clock. It'll probably be 9:30, maybe 10. But we'll be over there in just a little bit. So come hang out with us. Miss Daisy Basham will be over there. And if you guys hit the like button right here, right now, in this stream, you will get 5 years of good luck. Promise. And if you don't, then you don't. All right, guys. I love you all. I'll see you guys on the next one. Not going to stop till Summer gets justice. That I can promise. Love you all. Bye-bye.